What's up, everybody? This is the Jedi. Happy 2024 to everyone. We had a very trying live stream for our last live stream of 2023. And so I'm going to be working on getting a different streaming software than the one I've been using and see if that helps us out. But in our stream, certainly in our last one, I feel like the last two actually, the subject was brought up about Jermaine Jackson and this lawsuit or this allegation. At the time, I'm only now discovering that there's actually a lawsuit that's now been enacted to some degree. I don't know what. I haven't read. That's what we're here to do. I just understood there was some heifer making an accusation. And one of the problems I have with this is it's Bill Cosby, it's R. Kelly, it's a few black men all over again. You know, there seems to be once they proclaim this Me Too shit, which we know that sexual perversion comes from white people, as does all perversion of anything in nature, including human sexuality and all those things. But somehow they have to try to go deep and find somebody black to then make the face of the Me Too bullshit. And I'm just sick and tired of it. You know, there's something to be said for Me Too, in contemporary time, like right now. But you don't get to go back to ancient Egypt and find some bitch that, or even a dude that claimed they were a victim 50,000 years ago, and now we're all supposed to be so broken up over it, and then that person who is the target of the attack now has to have their life destroyed. I'm never going to be on board with that. Never going to be on board with that. I was interested to do this also, because I wanted to know what's the details of it. Who is the heifer? Is she black? Is she white? What is she claiming? You understand? So first, let us get. I pulled two articles. This one's from People, and I pulled another one from BET, and we'll see those two. And then if we feel like we need another one, we'll do that. But first, let's get into it, see what's going on, and then we'll discuss it further. Now, this is from 28th December. Jermaine Jackson sued for alleged 1988 sexual assault and battery in new lawsuit. And just so we're clear, let's do some math real quick. So that's 1988. This is now 2024. I don't know if I should do 2023 or 2024. Technically, well, it's late enough in 2023. We just really 2024, damn it. So we're going to say 2024 minus 1988. And we get 36 years. So this is 36 years ago, bitch. That's time for people to be born, go through all their years of schooling, including college, start a family, get married, start a business, go on vacation, tour the world. And just think what you can do and have done in 36 years. All right? The other equation we want to know is the following. How old is Jermaine Jackson?
Jermaine Jackson is 69 years old.
So he's 69 years old. All right? So we're going to take, so if he's 69 years old now, wait now. So he's 69 years old, 69, and we'll we'll say 69 minus 36. So he was 33 at the time of this alleged uh, uh, vomit, whatever it is we're going to read now and find out. All right. So it says people obtained a copy of the lawsuit, which claims that the plaintiffs, quote, feared for her life, end quote, during the alleged assault. I want to stop right there. First of all, they say they have obtained a copy of the lawsuit. Y'all know I love legal E. I love that. I don't see a court pleading here. Maybe they're just going to give a summation, or maybe there'll be a link to the actual court pleading. So we'll be looking for that. The other thing I want to deal with is this feared for her life. Oh, it was just all the fear. Oh my God, I can't go on. So we're to believe that now, 36 years ago, you were in fear for your life. Not it happened and I was traumatized. No, no. Quote, feared for her life. So why didn't you do something in 1988? All right, you were busy. The weather was bad. 89, still nothing. All right, 1990. I'm sure you got it all together in 1990 because you were still in fear of your life. All right, nothing there. All right, 91. All right, still nothing. All right, 92. You see where I'm going. But now, suddenly, when you got 22,000 people at just the ones we know about slaughtered and genocided off the earth in Gaza, you've got people starving in Yemen. We've had George Floyd, we've had Mike Brown, we've had Trayvon Martin. I could keep going down the list. Alton Sterling. You don't want me to keep going. You've got the Ukraine bullshit jumping off. They ended the aggression and the attack in Afghanistan. We've had the Iraq War. We had the Desert Storm. The space shuttle program ended. You've got this fake ass computer generated SpaceX bullshit going on. Amazon exists now that didn't exist. We didn't have cell phones in 1988. I mean, all the shit that's happened since 1980, and now here you come, tired bitch. Now here you come, and we want to know how old was her bitch ass 36 years ago, because, and certainly if it's a white bitch, we know they don't age the way black folks age. So we know she's some fossilized witch now. But let's go on. All right, and then there's Jermaine. And listen, if you're going to bring a lawsuit, you don't bring it for assault. You bring it for his hair. Do you understand? Like I'm in talks with lawyers now that I can't discuss. All right, but I'm in talks with lawyers right now over the trauma that I'm going through over Jermaine's tattooed hair. All right. All right, nurse, bring me the Valium anthrax cocktail. All right. Yeah. I'll take stat. All right. That'd be Nurse Jane. She's on the case. All right. Now, Jermaine Jackson has been accused of sexually assaulting a tired bitch in or around the spring of 1988. That's very important now. In or around. Why does that become important, Jedi? Because we just read up here that she feared for her life. Do you understand? And even in courts of law, in American law, everybody, one of the laws and accepted decorums of the court when it comes to witness statements and claims is under what circumstances does a victim or witness make a statement. So that if you make a statement while you're at Disneyland or something, the court doesn't see that as strongly as something made under duress or in fear or in high adrenaline situations. Do you understand what I'm telling you? So what I'm insinuating here by reciting the feared for her life and then coming down here in the in or around is already shaky in my view, because when you are shot by a gun or you are hit by a car or a bus or somebody hit you in the face with a aluminum bat, you remember when it was. It's not in or around. Now, you could be off a couple of days. I don't know if it was a Saturday or Sunday, but I know it was in June. And, I know that, you have other details that but in or around the spring, that's a large window. That's a large window. And when you are a counselor and you're nitpicking to find defense for your client, these things matter in order to break down the validity of the plaintiff. Now, a lawsuit was filed on Wednesday in Los Angeles County Superior Court by Rita Butler Barrett. The lawsuit filed Wednesday in Los Angeles County Superior Court by Rita Barrett Butler. So the bitch is Rita Barrett Butler. That means she's been remarried, or she is married, because we assume her name was Rita Butler, and then this Barrett is now another married name, because what heifer is walking around with the middle name Butler? I doubt it. So we take this as her given name, Butler, and then Barrett. So you're potentially married now. Why are you going after Jermaine Jackson now, 36 years after the fucking fact, when you feared for your life? Do you understand? But she filed this on Wednesday. It alleges sexual abuse, sexual assault, and sexual battery, negligence, and, wait for it, rape by Jackson, who is now 69, according to papers obtained by people Jermaine L. Jackson Music Productions Incorporated and Work Records Incorporated were named co-defendants alongside Jackson. Now, that's a money grab, because, well, Jermaine has been rich and famous for a very long time, and he could have had these productions and various incorporations in 1988. We don't know. But the fact of the matter is you're not just naming Jermaine Jackson. It's one thing if you had co-workers and there was a co-defendant, but you're naming Jermaine L. Jackson Music Productions. That's a company. Jermaine L. Jackson Music Productions Incorporated and Work Records Incorporated. Huh? So the bitch was not in fear of her life, and even if she was, she's not now 36 years later. This is a money grab is what this tells me already. Because why wouldn't it just be Rita Butler bitch versus Jermaine Jackson? You see? So he himself is not named. His entities, his business entities are named here. Jermaine L. Jackson Music Productions, not Jermaine L. Jackson. And when you do business, you are not your fictitious name. Do you understand? So this is a money grab. A rep for Jermaine did not immediately return people's requests for comment on the allegations. That's a smart move by his counselors. Don't speak. Right there, another lawsuit for the hair. All right, get my lawyer on the phone now. I can't do it. I tell him I can't wait for talks next week. I have to have a conference call now. I don't know if I can do this. And nobody ever asks him about his hair. Listen, I'm going to get an interview with Jermaine Jackson. I'm going to wrestle him to the ground and say, damn it, Jermaine, tell us what's going on with the hair. I mean, it's like Lego meets tattoo meets the werewolf. I don't know. All right. Related brothers Blanket and Prince pose for Rare Jackson. Okay, nobody cares. All right. In the lawsuit, the bitch, the lying whore, contends she knew Jermaine for several years before the alleged assault took place due to, quote, professional and personal connections, end quote. Just a second. She said she knew Jackson for several years before the alleged assault took place. There's a comma missing someplace or a colon. Otherwise, are they trying to say she knew for several years before the alleged assault took place? Period. Or are they saying she knew for several years and then the alleged assault took place due to professional connections? This is either poorly written or it's just some bullshit outright. Either way, we'll read it as it's written. All right. The lying whore contends she knew Jermaine for several years before the alleged assault took place due to, quote, professional and personal connections. What are you saying? That's what was provoked the attack? I don't know. All right. We may have to revisit that sentence. The papers state that her husband, there it is, Ben Barrett, so I'm now confirmed in my theory when we first read her name. The papers state, excuse me, that her husband, Ben Barrett, worked closely with Berry Gordy, who she believes was, quote, in business and or management relationship with Jermaine at the time of the alleged assault. Why is that important? Is that just to drag Berry Gordy's name in to give it more ooh, you know? Why did we need to know that? Like, why are you telling us that? Is there more that's going to be said about her husband that will explain why you're telling me this? Because I don't think I need to know that. I'll read it again. The papers state that her husband worked closely with Berry Gordy, who she believes was in a business relationship or management relationship with Jackson at the time of the assault. So what? Doesn't matter if he worked at the fucking McDonald's. Why does that matter? Jermaine allegedly arrived at now are we talking which Barrett? Are we talking about her husband or her when we talk about Barrett? Jermaine allegedly arrived at Barrett's home in or around, there that is again, in or around the spring of 1988. Unannounced. And forced himself inside. Just a second. Why does Jermaine need to go anywhere and force himself into anything? And let us also remember, this is Jermaine Jackson in 1988. He was at the pinnacle of his personal career. And I don't see him going anywhere without bodyguards. And I'd like to know, where did she live? Because the atmospherics of the neighborhood would matter to me. You're not going to be Jermaine Jackson walking up someplace and nobody's going to notice you. Let's see, 1988. Let's see. One of his big singles I remember is Dynamite. Let's just see what year Jermaine Jackson released Dynamite. What year did Jermaine Jackson release the song Dynamite? That was 1984, according to my Google search here. Um, what else did he have? He had a slow, like a mid-tempo ballad. Anyways, I'll come back to that. Um, let's see. What year did Jermaine Jackson release Word to the Bad? That was 1992. Damn it. All right. Anyways, so she claims he showed up to his house unannounced and forced himself inside. So how did he do that, Rita? Did he have a key to your house? Did he have a battering ram? Did he use a death ray on the locks and knobs on your door? How did he force himself inside? Did you open the door? How did he force himself inside? If you could just tell the jury now. You see, the lying whore claims he then sexually assaulted her with, quote, force and violence and left when he was satiated. I can't believe I don't know what the meaning of that word is. Well, we're going to learn that right now. Satiated.
Here's the definition of satiate, another term for sat.
Another term for sat, S-A-T-E. And then they give an example. He folded up his newspaper, his curiosity satiated. I think we still don't know what it means. Whatever. So he forces himself inside. That's breaking and entering. All right. If in fact we believe the lying whore. That's breaking and entering. It's certainly forced entry. And then on top of, so that's one crime. And then he assaulted her with, quote, force and violence. And then left. So no testimony that she was threatened, that he held a gun to her face and said, if you tell anybody, bitch, I'll be back. Nothing. And she's already told us that she was what? Feared for her life. So I'm sure that the next thing we're going to read, after she tells us that he left, after he assaulted her with force and violence, that she immediately called the Los Angeles Police Department. So we'll just read on. All right. During the assault, the plaintiff, a woman of faith, prayed to God for help. During the assault, plaintiff feared for her life, the lawsuit reads. Oh, we gonna be here a minute, y'all. Because now she is a woman of faith. Pray to God. Giving praise and glory to the Lamb of God. So I'm sure after she called the LAPD, which I'm sure we're going to read, she then called her pastor because she's a woman of faith and prayed to God. So I'm sure she had a church home and immediately called her pastor for counseling as she was being rushed to the hospital to be checked out and all of it. I'm just sure of it. No question in my mind about it. All right. And she's fearing for her life. So I'm sure she moved after that because now she's in fear. And she wasn't seen for weeks by people who knew her. And no doubt she contacted the LAPD. All right. Now, the lying whore claims she reported the assault the following day to Gordy. Nah, bitch, you in fear of your life, and you said that he assaulted you with force and violence. What in the all the fuck is Barry Gordy going to do? I'd like to have that answer now, if you just don't mind. I'd just like to have that answer. We'd just love to have that. Just any moment now, we'd love to have that. Force and violence. And she feared for her life. And she prayed to God and the angels and all things holy during the assault, according to testimony in the papers. And while at the same time, plaintiff feared for her life. And so the moment it's all over, she calls the LAPD and her pastor, I'm sure of it. No, wait, damn it. She calls the following day Barry Gordy. Damn it. So apparently Barry Gordy is more than a record producer, everybody. Apparently he's a nurse and a law enforcement agent, an attorney, and an ambulance. So it's all there. It's all there. It's all there. We have it. We have it. We have it. So just a second now. This is the spring. In or around, to use the actual language. The spring of 1988. They show up to her house unannounced. We don't have a time of day. And so, but you didn't do anything that day. While fearing for your life, while praying to God, after being forced and violence, and you wait until the next day to call Barry Gordy, of all people. Not your mother, not anybody that you should have been calling. No, Barry Gordy, comma, who she alleges, quote, withheld and concealed the acts because he didn't have any responsibility to you, bitch. He didn't have a responsibility to you. You didn't work for him. He's not your employer. That's why now we understand why they set up that her husband worked for Barry Gordy in whatever and blah blah. That's why they set that up, everybody. That was a lead into this because they know it's some bullshit. But the Jedi is reading this now. Do you understand? I have a very keen eye for shit like this. So this was the cover. Because remember I said when we read it, I go, why are you telling us this? Why are you telling us this? Why? Because that's random to me. I don't need to know that. I don't. Why are you telling me that? And lo and behold, that is to give cover for why she would call Barry Gordy instead of the list of other people that I told you the bitch should have been calling. You see? And then now she wants to insinuate as if he did something nefarious by saying, quote, he, quote, withheld and concealed the acts. So that's two charges. First of all, how did he withhold? When was he questioned? So prove the withholding. And then now show me concealment. How did he conceal, bitch? Did he not run and tell her on the mountain? Why does he have any fiduciary responsibility to or moral responsibility to go and fight your fight? You're the one who was forcefully and violently attacked and was in fear of your life and praying to God and doing it all, and you're a woman of faith and all of it, and you call Barry goddammit Gordy? Well, don't stop there. You should have just called Diana Ross. You know what? Call the Temptations too. I think we should get Smokey in here. All right, let's get Smokey in here. All right, where's Gladys? You see. So if I'm Barry Gordy right now, I'm having my lawyers craft a letter to this bitch to cease and desist and shut the fuck up. Because this could be libel and slander to the good name of Barry Gordy. Don't play with fire, bitch. And I've already pointed out to you that the lawsuit names not Jermaine Jackson, but his business entities. Are you following me? Stay with me, everybody. When the Jedi speaks, we learn. Now, so she's now insinuated Berry Gordy doing something nefarious, that he didn't help me when he had no responsibility to your bitch ass. You're not a family member. You're not an employee of his. And you don't get to be his employee by extension that your husband worked for Berry Gordy. Nobody cares. And it just says that, and it is, we don't know if even your husband was an employee. It just says that your husband worked closely with Berry. I worked very closely with Michael, but he wasn't my employer. Wait, I'm being told in my, what's that? Hold on, everybody. Hold on. I'm being told in my ear, shut the fuck up. You did not work with Michael. Oh, all right. My bad. All right. All right. It's fine. It's fine. All right. That that's probably more true than not. All right. Withdrawn, Your Honor. It suggests facts, not in evidence. Move to strike. I withdraw the statement, Your Honor. I'll redirect. So now, again, if I'm Berry Gordy, I'm sending a letter saying cease and desist and shut the fuck up, bitch. Otherwise, I will slap you with a several $100 million lawsuit of libel and slander on my good name. I didn't have responsibility to your trampy ass. So sat your ass down. Sat. Then, so she says that he withheld and concealed the acts, end quote. The lying whore asserts that by doing so, comma, Gordy, comma, Jackson, comma, and others in the business relationship, end quote, were able to gain profits from Jackson's work for years to come. What? Boom. The bitch is trying to justify this, everybody, in the pleading. Jermaine L. Jackson Music Productions, comma, Incorporated, and Work Records Incorporated. You see? This is nothing but money, everybody. This bitch was not attacked. She wasn't in fear for her life. And she's just decided right now, in the climate of Me Too, let me see if I can make something happen. You see? Fuck her. Thus far. And my claim is backed up now by what we just read. Because she just made the slanderous, erroneous statement and insinuating liability and responsibility by Berry Gordy himself, and justifies that by saying that by doing so, Gordy, Jermaine, and others, now who's the others now? Like, they're all over there and they made money from Jermaine's work for years to come. What does that have to do with what happened, what didn't happen to your bitch ass? Doesn't matter if they had pizza and margaritas. What does that have to do with you and your fearing for your life? Do you understand? I mean, what? What? I, wow. I'll just read it again. The whore asserts that by Berry withholding and concealing, that his and Jermaine and others in the business relationship. Interesting that that I don't know, they got their quotes going the wrong way. I think that's just a typo, because this is a closed quote and so is this. So I think they just got the thing going the wrong way. They struck the wrong key. But she claims that Barry and Jermaine and others in the business relationship were able to gain profit from Jermaine's work for years to come. What does that have to do with your shit, though? So what? What happened to you has nothing to do with his music career. He could have been on tour. He could have been doing anything. What does that have to do with anything? The whore alleges a cover-up was in place to, quote, prevent disclosure of information relating to the abuse for the purpose of profit and preservation of reputation. No, bitch. You don't blame them because you waited till the next day and you called Barry Gordy. He doesn't have a crystal ball. Wouldn't have known anything could happen. You could have gone completely around them and went straight to the fucking LAPD. You could have gone to the fucking hospital. You could have called your pastor or your religious whoever. This is a psychotic bitch on top of being a liar. She's also psychotic. She's also psychotic. Like, you the one that called Barry and tell him as if he's the police, the pastor, and the doctor, and because he does nothing, which he has no need to, it's all his fault. That's what we're reading. That's what we're reading. Because we've not heard anywhere. First of all, you're a dumb bitch for calling Barry Gordy, but we'll go with that for a moment. We don't have any evidence thus far that Barry said, keep quiet and let me handle it. But we don't have that. And even if that had been the case, what, I ask you now, dumb bitch, do you think Barry Gordy, what else do you think Barry Gordy would have done with this information? Run tell it on the mountain? He knows Jermaine since he's a child. He'll know your bitch ass. At least not like that. And he's supposed to just go, quick, let me go tell everyone on the mountain about Jermaine. I mean, any way you look at it, she's a dumb, psychotic bitch, just based on what we're reading. Wow. She alleges a cover-up was in place. No, bitch, you covered it up. Because you called Barry Gordy and not the LAPD. I'm assuming this happened in California. I don't know why. But you called Barry Gordy instead of the LAPD, instead of a doctor or an ambulance or your pastor or your mother. That's why that's why I was being ridiculous a little while ago. Well, let's just get Smokey in here. Well, let's just get Smokey Robinson in here. Well, let's just get him in here. Get Diana on the phone. All right. Get Gladys. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Wow, these brothers are legendary. There's none other like them. None. Wow. The lawsuit states that the whore has, quote, suffered severe emotional, physical, and psychological injury, including humiliation, shame, guilt, economic loss, economic capacity, and permanent emotional distress after her interaction with Jackson. But even though she went through all this list of shit, she only called Barry Gordy and not the fucking police or a lawyer or a doctor or a pastor. But she's just so broken up over it all and she can't go on. Nurse, bring me Tylenol, do it now. I'm just all broken up over this and I can't go on. Wow. And shame on the sleazy Zionist lawyer I'm sure she has that would even dare entertain this fucking lawsuit. I would have laughed her out of my office and said, bitch, under what fucking rainbow do you think this shit is valid when you didn't do your jurisprudence? You did absolutely nothing to mitigate your own suffering, and now you want the entire world to stop for your bitch ass and put all the blame on Barry Gordy, bitch? Listen, that's one of the standards of proof, everybody. What did you do to mitigate your suffering? But she suffered severe emotional, physical, psychological injury, including humiliation. How were you humiliated, bitch? Because nobody knew about it. We're just finding out about it in 2024, bitch. So When were you humiliated? And the shame and guilt and all of it. And what economic loss did you have? Because you didn't work for Berry Gordy, huh? And economic capacity. That means that not only did I lose money then, but this stopped me from making money for the rest of my life, is what the bitch is trying to say. I mean, I can't. Wow, y'all. Listen, let me just give you a personal story that would have been ridiculous, but would have had more validity than this bullshit. Everybody remembers the O.J. Simpson case. We all remember it, all right? Well, you also know that Vanity was a very close friend of mine. We lived together for just about a year. And Vanity shared with me, once she saw the cop Mark Furman, that he used to pull her over and hit on her. I shared it with my dad, and my dad said, you might want to call hard copy of somebody. And we laughed about it. But we were kind of half laughing. But for the fact that Vanity was my friend, it might have been tempting. And then later, quite some time, I would say years, maybe a couple years, I was at a spot in Los Angeles, and there's this famous gossip columnist back in the day named Janet Charlton, and she was in line in front of me. And so was this other kid, Turbo, who had been in movies. It was a whole thing. But anyways, and I shared the story with Janet Charlton, and she goes, you could have made a lot of money on that story. You could have, she had this, when I'm on camera sometime, I'll try and remember to show you, because you all know how I mimic people. Whenever I mention people, I just turn into them some type of way. And she had this very distinct way that she pointed and talked. She was like, you could have made a lot of money on that story, and you could have made a lot of money, So, but I'm just saying, you could take something like that and run with it. At the very least, it had parameters of something that would be newsworthy and, ooh, because you've got the beautiful Vanity insinuated, and, and then, of course, Mark Furman is the biggest fucking racist ever seen on the planet at that time, and on and on. So it just had the right je ne sais quoi that you needed. But this is just like, doesn't even have that. This is purely a money grab. And this is just getting worse the further we go down. The lawsuit states that she suffered severe emotional, physical, and psychological injury, including humiliation, shame, and guilt, economic loss, economic capacity, permanent emotional distress, the ability to walk. She can't drink through a straw. She can't use her right arm, and she's got Bell's palsy on the right side. She can't go on. And I think there might have been a hit of scoliosis. We're still checking. Wow. All this after her interaction with Jackson. So you were that distressed, but the only fucking number you could pick up and call was somebody who wasn't even your employer or anything was Berry Gordy, bitch? Really? Who was probably in the Caymans or in Provence or something when you called him, with a Sauvignon Blanc in his hand and caviar in the other one, and doing another $1 million deal. Come on. We need a picture of this bitch. All right. Jermaine rose to fame as a member. We know this. We don't need to read this. We know blah, blah, blah. We just need facts of the case. All right. In a statement, the whore's attorney, Jeff Anderson, said that his client, quote, suffered an egregious and violent sexual assault, end quote. Well, A, we don't believe your client, but even if that's true, Why did she call Barry Gordy? I mean, there's just some shit you can't get around. Do you understand? You just can't get around it. And that is a valid question for any magistrate or jury. Bitch, why did you call Barry Gordy? Certainly, if they have a deposition on this and things like that, and she's questioned by Jermaine's attorney, this bitch is going to be grilled under the fucking table. She will be a roasted pig when it's all done. What's that? Hold on, you guys, hold on. What's that? I'm being told in my ear right now she already looks like a roasted pig, and so there's nothing that can be done. All right. We'll strike that. We'll redirect the witness, Your Honor. All right. But now she's gonna have to answer that. Why, bitch, did you call Barry Gordy when you were under all this list of shit that we've read in this thus far, and all the suffering you've gone through, and you just couldn't go on? And if in fact you claim as part of your suffrage that you not only had economic loss at the time, but you're saying contemporarily that you lost economic capacity. So I ask you now, on your oath, dumb bitch, how have you supported yourself for 36 years? You're going to tell us, because the only answer that's going to be acceptable to this court is that you've been living under a fucking cardboard box from that day to this one. Oh, you haven't been? All right, that's it. Throw the bitch out. That's it. That's it. That's it. So we should have no resume on her, no job history from that day till now, according to her own testimony that she's being quoted on. The suffrage, the shame, and the emotional, blah, blah. Okay, fine. But economic loss, comma, and economic capacity. That means I can't even make money. I can't do anything to make money. I have no what? Economic capacity, bitch. So the moment I pull her record and find even 1 week the bitch worked at McDonald's, the bitch is out. Do you understand? Well, just read on. Let's see. In the statement, the attorney said his client suffered an egregious and violent assault. But again, why didn't you call fucking 911 then, bitch? All right, because 911 was very active and available in 1988. All right. Quote, this is about her power and the declaration of it when she learned something could be done under the law, comma, wait, because she didn't know on that in or around the spring of 1988. Ooh, we don't know. Could have been Christmas. But she had no idea at that moment, this statement suggests, that she had no idea she could have called 911 or the fucking police or a goddamn ambulance or her pastor. According to this outrageous statement, it looks like her attorney's about to make, quote, this is about her power and declaration of it when she learned something could be done under the law. Excuse me. And she found the strength and support to find us and is now standing up for herself and others, end quote. His statement added, as I just lost a tooth and vomited in my mouth. This is the weakest shit. Stevie Wonder could see it. What's that? Hold on, you guys, hold on. What's that? So wait, speak up. I could barely, my earpiece is down, just a little louder. What's that? Stevie said, keep his fucking name out your mouth, Jedi. All right, that's fine. It's Stevie. I bow down. It's fine. It's fine. All right. I mean, it's outrageous. Now, this is the ending paragraph, everybody, to make her seem like this strong heroine who is standing up and taking claim, and it's a woman's strength and standing with her power and finding her truth and all that vomit bullshit they sell us. Give me a break. And what also makes me sick about this is amongst you godless Christian folks, because we don't have this anywhere in the Islamic world, but amongst you godless Christian folks, there are legitimate claims, sadly, of women being taken advantage of and being put in many compromising positions and and so forth and things like that. And this makes it bad for them. When a lying whore comes forward 36 years later with some weak shit that is clearly meant to be a money grab. You've only named Jermaine's companies, Berry Gordy, not Jermaine, and you didn't do anything to mitigate your suffering or your loss or anything, or did anything that would suggest to anyone listening to this that you had any injury of any type, emotional or physical. Because if you were that injured and it was a violent assault, why didn't you at least call the goddamn police? Did you even go to the hospital, bitch? You didn't. And then now we're supposed to end with his heroic thing. This is about her power and the declaration of it. No, this is about a lying whore who needs to sat the fuck down in the back on the left. When she learned something could be done under the law, comma. Because for 36 years, everybody, she had no idea. When was the R. Kelly shit? When was the Bill Cosby thing? When was the Harvey Weinstein thing? At least 4 or 5 years ago or something. But only now, excuse me, only now suddenly in this hour did she have an epiphany, and Glinda the Good Witch came in the bubble and said, "You've had the power all along." You see? When she learned, because she had no knowledge of it up to now because she's a 3-year-old, when she learned something could be done under the law, comma, and wait, and she found the strength, because she couldn't find it, to pick up the fucking phone and call the LAPD in or around the spring of 1988 or any time in the last 36 fucking years. She couldn't find it. But lo and behold, 36 years later, we're to believe the bitch found the strength. But wait, and support. So we had no support for 36 years. Is that your testimonies? This is what you're saying to us. This is bullshit. Fuck her. Now, we're going to go to the other one that I pulled because we want to see if there's any new explorative evidence there or any details that were not cited here. And you guys have been with me, you know I always pull more than one piece for this very reason. So this is BET. Jermaine Jackson sued for alleged sexual assault and battery in 1988. The lawsuit reveals that the plaintiff, quote, feared for her life during the alleged incident. And I want to say to anyone on the side of my voice who does not know, just because it says someone is sued, that doesn't mean any proceeding has gone forward. It doesn't mean that there's been a court date, there's been any hearings, there's been any testimony, trial, depositions, any of that, arbitrations, whatever. It doesn't mean a payment has been paid out. It just means somebody filed a suit against somebody. That's all it means. It's important to say that because many people don't know that. and you'll be somewhere and you'll be in a circle of people talking, or you hear somebody say, so they had sued and he was sued as if the person was found guilty and paid money or lost the suit or some shit. And none of that is true. Just means that somebody filed a claim. That's all. An allegation, a charge, a claim. And again, the claim is not for that. It's for this goddamn hair. That's the lawsuit. That's where you get the big money. A jury sees that and go, "What are you asking for? We'll vote for that. That you're so right." You see, Jermaine Jackson is accused of assaulting a dumb bitch in 1988 in a lawsuit filed Wednesday, 27th December. According to People, okay, now they're quoting People, so this is going to be a cut and paste, then a copy and paste from People. We'll just scan it to make sure the language is the same. Rita Hoare alleges blah blah blah. She called Barry Gordy, whom she believes was in business, and believes was in business, and or a managed relationship with Jermaine during the time of the incident. So she isn't even sure of what their relationship was. You see, dumb bitch. Which would also suggest to me that her husband worked with Barry in a cursory capacity, because it seems that if he worked with Barry Gordy, he would know that that detail, and that he doesn't means that he wasn't an employee of Barry Gordy. During the spring of '88, now they're saying during, allegedly arrived at the home at unannounced. Forced himself inside. Forced violence, blah, blah, blah. During the assault, she's a woman of faith. Yeah, the following day, she called Barry Gordy. All right, we'll see if we can find one more, because that's so fucking lazy of any publication. Well, People is saying, well, what are you saying? And you're BET, which means nothing, but whatever. All right, let's see if we can find one more. All right, this is the Seattle Times. Jermaine Jackson sued for alleged sexual assault. Los Angeles. A lying bitch has sued Jermaine Jackson, older brother of Michael Joseph Jackson and a member of Jackson 5, alleging that the singer sexually assaulted her. In the suit filed in Los Angeles Superior Court on Wednesday, Rita Hoare claims that she knew Jermaine through her husband's friendship with Motown Records founder Barry Gordy. So you don't work with Jermaine or fucking Barry or nobody else. Your husband knew or had some interaction with these people. Claims she knew Jermaine through her husband's friendship with Motown Records founder Barry Gordy. Now it's a friendship. She alleges in the suit that in 1988, quote, defendant Jackson arrived at plaintiff's home unannounced. So how would he know your husband wasn't there? And if he's some kind of, because it says that her husband's friendship with Motown Records founder Barry Gordy, not with Jermaine. So how would Jermaine just show up at your house when he's not friends with you or your dusty ass fucking husband? But he shows up at your house unannounced. Either something else you're not telling, or this too is more lies. But showed up to her home unannounced. Defendant Jackson forced himself into the plaintiff's house, and with force and violence assaulted the lying whore. Hmm? The whore also alleges in the suit that, quote, because of his relationship with both defendant Jackson and plaintiff's family, Mr. Gordy was uniquely situated to both report defendant Jackson's acts and to aid plaintiff during her time of fucking trauma, bitch. Somebody find this bitch. Oh my god, I can't. It's worse than we read in the first one, y'all. Because it's what I was being ridiculous about. You know, like Barry Gordy, turns out he is the LAPD. And remember I don't remember everything I was saying. I won't know till I hear this back. But here it is. In a alleged lawsuit that, quote, because of his relationship with both defendant Jermaine and the plaintiff's family. So now, at first it was her husband's friendship with Motown. Her husband's friendship. Again, if you want shit to be scrutinized, don't put it in front of me. I'm very good at this shit. Her husband, don't make statements if you don't want me to repeat the shit you said before. So apparently, before it was her husband's friendship with Motown Records founder Berry Gordy. Period. All right? Now, it's because of his relationship with both Jermaine and her family. That she's alleging now that, excuse me, that Barry knew, well, obviously he knows Jermaine since he was a kid. But now that he somehow knows her family too. So because he knew Jermaine and the plaintiff's family, comma, Mr. Gordy was uniquely situated to both report Jermaine's acts, because she couldn't pick up the phone with her own fat ass and report it herself, apparently. Because certainly, listen, you guys, if I'm in a car accident, I go down and I have a random stranger to call the police for me, because there's no way I could ever do it for myself. I mean, I stumped my toe the other day, and I went to a neighbor and said, could you please call 911 for me? Because I can't do it. You see. I ate something that made me sick. I had somebody else vomit for me because I just don't have time. I'm busy. All right. This is essentially what she's saying. You see? That he was uniquely situated to both report Jermaine's acts, and this one really makes me sick, and to aid her fat ass during her time of trauma because she could not go on. So now Berry Gordy now has to drop his entire life as a mogul, and also deciding how he's going to pay me my $5 that he owes me, and be a counselor and the fucking police and a lawyer all at once, and a mediator and all that. It's like I stumped my toe or I skinned my knee, and instead of me going to get a Band-Aid and some peroxide, I'm pissed that somebody who saw it happen, standing 100 feet away from me, who's never saw me in my fucking life, didn't rush to aid me. That's what she's saying here. I need to make it as ridiculous as I can so you can see how ridiculous it really is. It's outrageous. Outrageous. She's trying to justify so desperately what she knows she can't satisfy. And that is the question of, fat bitch, why didn't you call the police? Why didn't you call an ambulance? Why didn't you call your mother or your best friend or a pastor or somebody? Why did you run to the neighbor's house? Tell us now, fat bitch. Because there is no answer. Because this is a money grab, everybody. And this is what it looks like when you're desperate. When you've got shit to stand on, you start insinuating people. Barry Gordon didn't aid her in her time of trauma. Well, I was at Janet's concert and I wasn't invited backstage. So it's all Barry Gordy's fault right there. All right, I'm joining the lawsuit. I take it all back. She's 100% right. Where's Barry Gordy when you need him? Instead, Barry Gordy withheld and concealed, bitch, the acts, further perpetuating the cover-up and allowing Mr. Gordy, quote, Jermaine, and others, which they said in the other piece, to profit and blah, blah, blah. Okay, we won't reread stuff we've read already. All right, but there was new language there in what we just read, so that's good. Let's see. Neither Jackson, 65, no, Jermaine is not 65, he's 69. So he's a 70-year-old man now. And here you come, fat bitch? I doubt it. I doubt it. I doubt it. This is when you send the fucking unnamed henchmen to visit motherfuckers when they least expect. You understand? So since they got Jermaine's age wrong, we can't trust them on Barry Gordy's age of 94. But anyways, neither Jermaine or Barry could be reached for comment. Good. Because they're like, she's a dumb bitch and we don't got shit we need to say to her. Like, the lawyers will handle it. I'm over it. All right. The suit also names Jackson's company. No. It only names his companies. You see, they say the suit also... No, the Jedi is reading. Don't try and slip shit in, bitch. No, also, the suit only names Jackson's company. Jermaine L. Jackson Productions and Label Work and the Label Work Records. You see, I've already proven that in our first read through on the other two articles. Jermaine is not listed personally. Only his business entities are listed as plaintiffs. All right. As a solo artist, blah, blah, I don't need to read that, blah, blah, who cares? Okay, Bennett filed her suit in California. Okay, wait. The whore filed her suit under California's Sexual Assault and Cover-Up Accountability Act. Say that 50 times. Which allows dumb bitches like this civil suits in cases of assault now beyond the statute of limitations when, quote, one or more entities are legally responsible for damages and the entity or their agents engaged in cover-up. The act allows for suits to be filed through the end of 2023. I love it! This is the answer, everybody, right here. Alhamdulillah. So this is why she's going in on Barry Gordy didn't come to my aid and he didn't do anything, because she needs that in order to satisfy this California Sexual Abuse Act. Otherwise, she doesn't have all the moving parts. She doesn't have all the requisites. You feel me? Fuck her. You understand? And every real legitimate Me Too person out there should be fucking throwing daggers at this bitch. You understand? So right there, it's textbook. She's trying to satisfy this requisite of this case. And why is she and remember, I started out, I said, why now, fat bitch? Not now, here you come 36 years later in 2024, and now suddenly, why now? Because it's only good to the end of 2023. The bitch just filed the shit on Wednesday. Trying to get that last minute coin in. You feel me? Nothing screams extortion like a fucking like this bullshit that we're reading. I'll just read it again. She filed her suit and her sleazy Zionist for a buck lawyer uh, under California's Sexual Abuse and Cover Up Accountability Act, comma, which allows civil suits in cases of sexual assault now that are now beyond the statute of limitations when, quote, one or more entities, because that's why she only named Jermaine's companies and not him as the fucking defendant, because apparently his Jermaine L. Jackson Productions apparently assaulted her, and so did Work Records. Apparently Jermaine didn't have to be at the house, you see. So she's trying to satisfy the multiple entities. When one or more entities are legally responsible for damages and the entity or their agents engaged in a cover-up. That's why she said that Berry Gordy concealed and what was the other word? Concealed and withheld, the bitch said. Fuck her. We really have all we need. I really could rest my case here. I really could rest. We're on the verge of resting. We're on the verge of resting. She's trying to get her multiple entities in. Her one or more entities are legally responsible, which nobody's responsible except for your fat ass bitch. You were legally responsible to mitigate your damages and loss and suffrage by calling the fucking police, running to the neighbor's house, run through the street naked, screaming bloody murder, or call your mother or your pastor, do something. But not you're going to call Berry Gordy the next day, who you don't even have a cursory relationship to. You're not a friend. You're not an employee. You're not a family member. You're a fat bitch. You're not talented. You're not his artist. You don't have any. Berry Gordy won't even see you. All we have is your husband had some sort of relationship with their company, which does not mean he was a close friend of Berry Gordy. I think they're throwing this at the wall and hoping that the ire of it all will just scare Jermaine, because a lot of times people just want to pay off. And then a lot of times, sadly, people like Jermaine and a lot of these other big artists, they have nothing but these stinking, big-nosed Zionists for fucking lawyers, and they're usually in cahoots with judges and each other. You understand? Conflict of interest like a motherfucker. And so those are the motherfuckers that will sit in a room with Jermaine and say, I think you should settle the case. I think you should settle and just make her go away. As their fucking big ass nose drools down the fucking, and then they split the money up. You see what I'm saying? Nah, don't fall for it, Jermaine. You don't owe this bitch shit. You understand? But a punch in the goddamn face, bitch. Wow. Mm-mm-mm. Interesting, this little piece says several prominent artists and music executives, including uh, uh, Diddy, uh, label executive L.A. Reid, all black people, former Recording Academy chief Neil, I don't know who the fuck that is, and Aerosmith singer Steven Tyler have been sued under a similar law passed in New York. That's all fine. That's just trying to say she might have a case. I'm telling you, this bitch don't have a case. The only way Jermaine Jackson pays even so much as a copper fucking penny is if his stinking Zionist lawyers tell him he needs give him shitty advice and tell him he needs to settle this case. There's nothing to settle here, everybody. Nothing to settle. I've proven it. I have proven it. I have proven it. That this is a lying whore. We'll just look at anytime anything. I always like to see if I could find the Daily Mail because they always have just everything. Jermaine faces lawsuit in L.A. claiming sexually assaulted some dumb bitch. Accuser said she feared for her life. Jermaine has been sued by a dumb bitch. The singer and bassist 69 was named in the suit. Again, he wasn't named. Everything we read from people, he wasn't named, just his companies. Was named in the suit file Wednesday. Let's see, by a woman named Dumb Bitch. People reported after reviewing. Okay, they're citing people. So are they gonna cut and paste like BET did, which is scan? Um, so the court said she had a professional and personal connection to Jackson. They see it's changing again. The whore told the court that she had, quote, professional and personal connections, quote, end quote, to Jermaine. Nah, everything we read up to now, it was just her dumbass husband, all right, who she knew for years prior to the incident, as her spouse was in business with Motown Records founder Berry Gordy. So that don't give you no personal and professional connection to fucking Jermaine, fat bitch. Gordy and Jermaine maintained a business relationship during the time frame in question. So what? Their relationship don't have shit to do with your dumb ass. As if they were supposed to stop everything. Like, what moon does she fucking come from, dude? By the way, only a white bitch could make this out. That's not, that. See, white people always collude. White collusion, white allegiance. Everybody, let a sister bring this, and they would laugh her off. That this would never make this wouldn't be a story. Wouldn't know anything about it. But a white bitch can come out and say anything. He farted on me, and it's the major fucking story. I guarantee this is a white bitch. The whore told the court that Jackson went to her house in 1988 and an unannounced visit and entered the house through force. We read that. Let's see. During the assault, a woman of faith prayed to God for help, but didn't call anybody for help immediately after it was over. So, I don't know. During the assault, she feared for her life. They're making me sick with that. Said that because of his relationship, both parties uniquely. Barrett said that who withheld and concealed the acts from who, bitch? We're not even gonna deal with. I've already litigated the Berry Gordy thing, and I don't need to beat that anymore. She's just a dumb bitch, and there's not. She's just barking up a tree that that's a dog that won't hunt. Do you understand? She said she suffered egregious and violent assault in a statement. Not to, and there they wrote the emotional and the she suffered humiliation and shame and the bullshit. Well, you're going to spend way more shame now, bitch. Once you realize this lawsuit is going nowhere and people look at you and laugh at you for being the greedy, dumb whore that you clearly are, and you're making it bad for real victims who have real claims. Do you understand what I'm telling you? That's why you have to go hard on dumb bitches like this, fake bitches like this. It's right up there with the Susan Smith bitch who claimed that a black man carjacked her and drove her kids off. Niggas going, really, bitch? The moment we heard, every black person on earth knew the bitch was lying. White folks caught up many months later. We knew as soon as the bitch spoke that was a lie. The moment. This is about her power. We already read that, the bullshit. In addition to his work with Jermaine as solo performer, uh, he's amassed 6 top 20 songs. So what? That's fine. That has nothing to do with the fucking lawsuit. Jermaine's career is separate and apart from all this bullshit. Um, and then it cites the California abuse law and all this shit again. Fuck her. I've proven that this is a specious and baseless lawsuit, everybody. And unless these lawyers are in collusion, this lawsuit goes nowhere. You understand? It goes nowhere. And I don't know if they'd be seeking a jury trial or they just want a judge to decide the outcome or whatever. But if they really trying to press the case, I would hope that this went all the way to a fucking jury. Because a jury is going to look at this shit and go, really, bitch? Nah, it doesn't satisfy the law. It doesn't. And anybody reading that knows that already. The act that I read for you twice in the last article, the California Act, it doesn't meet that standard, the requisite for that. Here it is again. The California Sex Abuse and Cover Accountability Act, which permits you to bring a fucking lawsuit that is past the statute of limitations if one or more of the entities was legally responsible for damages and the entity or their agents engaged in a cover-up. No. That's like the only way this is doable for applicable to this specious bullshit is, let's say she and Jermaine, let's say she was on Jermaine's tour. So now she's a dancer, she's a backup singer, she's his employee. And this goes down. And the tour manager, who is also would be under Jermaine's employ, she goes to the tour manager and says, oh my God, this happened to me. Now this comes into play. Do you understand? Because he's somebody acting on Jermaine's behalf and all that kind of thing, and he is party to it, and it's another entity in the bullshit. Not let me call Diana Ross's house and tell her, and because she told me to kick rocks, then look, Diana Ross is responsible. That's what she's saying about Berry Gordy. It's ridiculous on its face, everybody. It's ridiculous on its face. I'd like to know what you think about this, about the case that I have put forth, based on the information that we have now learned from this ridiculous lawsuit. The Jedi has spoken.